Yes, well, welcome to beautiful downtown hot Miami. It's just my pleasure to show up and participate here. I come to you, I show up as an investor for the last 30 years, consulting for as many years, coaching businesses for the last 15 years. And 5 years ago, I started a mentoring program. So it's consulting, coaching, mentoring. And the question to myself is really, what can I get from this? And learning associations and participation. I already reached out to him and I said, I want to have a discussion. I think I have a great idea that's been working that may fit for Africa. And I've had discussions in Africa. In fact, my initiative is to have a global presence. And I struggle with that, trying to figure out how to do that because of language, because of customs, because of timeframes, because of cost, because of technology. So it's not an easy answer, but it can be done, and I'm glad that he's spearheading that. And the things that I resonate with a lot of other people is certainly the things that he mentioned, being able to reach out to others. My experience has been that whether it's here in the US or in Europe or in Africa or in India or the Far East, we all have a commonality, and I think the COVID virus brought us together for that. Now, may have some nuances, different culture, different way to approach, but once we get through that, I'm finding that we're more alike than disalike. It's really quite interesting for me. So the question I have for everybody else is, how will you use this material? How will you challenge yourself and go forward? And how can I find a coach that's out there that is strong and willing to coach me? Well, let me start with one thing. You said we cannot coach everyone. That is absolutely wrong. Let me just pose this, that everybody, every human being is already being coached. Now, they may not be formally coached, but they have a parent, they have a sibling, they have a peer, somebody else that they're listening. They are being coached. So everybody is being coached. And the numbers that he put up are just absolutely small. For 7 billion, going on 8 billion people in the world, we need 8 billion coaches. They're already out there. Now, we're talking, of course, formalize, pay me, and get the right way. We're trained, we're educated. So we have a formalized way of coaching. And so the marketplace has changed. So in Africa, if they have 2 billion people, they need 2 billion coaches. The key there, of course, how do we approach that? And I think that's the paradigm shift that we have to have. And the shift is this. It's group coaching. It's massive coaching. Now, there's going to be individual coaching for some of the top leaders that can afford it in terms of time, in terms of money, in terms of resources. The rest would fall under, let's say, middle managers, that we train them to be coaches. I'm working with clients now to train them to be coaches, to work with their teams. And that's tremendously successful because now they can coach them. They know them better. They know the industry. They know the language. They know them a lot more intimately. They're working day in and out. So now middle management is training their lower level peers to rise up. So what about the rest? The rest of the world is a group or team or community, or because of technology, that we can really bring others together. That's how we do it. That's how we coach 2 billion people in Africa, 7 billion or 8 billion in the world. We have the ways to do that. Now, there are some blocks, there are some hindrances. And of course, he mentioned six of those roadblocks, and money is one of those. And I think that's solved. Culture may be another one of those, and there's some other ones, but all of those are really minor obstacles. They're in our minds, between our two ears, I think he said. And I think together we have the reason to go forward a lot stronger, especially because of the pandemic that's brought us all together, especially because we're all communicating in the same way together that we could go forward. So I think it's a tremendous opportunity. So to your point, everybody is being coached. Let's just see if we do that the right way. I interview leaders, and they don't have to be my clients, but I interview them. And actually, I do that. I tell everybody that I'm open to interviewing them very briefly. It doesn't take more than 5-6 minutes. I tell them the questions. There's 4 questions. The first one is, tell me a little bit about yourself. The second one is, who's your ideal client? And number 3 is, what's the value that you bring to your clients? And number 4, how do people get a hold of you? And then I add a 5th question. And the 5th question is, what has been your experience? And I don't say coaching, but what has been your experience in our relationship? And they will tell you from the heart. It's caught on video. First of all, when they're talking about themselves, they're upbeat. They're selling themselves, and we want them to do that. So they're getting tremendous value. The 5th question is, can you share the value that our relationship has brought to you? And it could be whatever it is. It's caught on video, edited, and I've done hundreds of those since I started doing it about 5 years ago. And I do it freely. And out of that, somebody may see that, or I have now the right to take the clip and be able to put it separately. So try that. I think that be a collector of videos, and the testimonials will just flow.